When I found out I was pregnant with Cayden, I was over the moon. I've always wanted a big family, and I had two boys already, and I wanted another boy. Pregnancy was brilliant, I was happy, family were over the moon, just normal, and I noticed he had a red lump on the bottom of his spine. The doctors noticed as well, and they said that he needed a scan, but they sent us home, and we went back for a scan. And then I received a letter in the post to say it was spina bifida. To be honest, I didn't have a clue what it was. I had to look up online to read more into it because no one had told me anything. It was just a letter there stating what it was. So then I started having appointments at the hospital, and they told me it was normal, that there was nothing to worry about. It was a really minor case of it. So I didn't really think anything else of it. I wasn't worried. He was developing normally, loved to jump all over the place, roll all over the place, very strong on his legs. He was just a typical little boy. When the first time Cayden got meningitis, he had high temperature, he wasn't feeding very well, just seemed generally poorly, but I noticed the soft spot on top of his head was bulging. Now I knew that wasn't right. I already had two boys before that, so I knew it wasn't right, and I took him to the hospital, and they'd done a lumbar puncture and confirmed that he had meningitis. He was on intense antibiotics. It was found that he had E. coli as well. I was petrified. It happens very fast when you're going through things like that. There's a lot of medication being put in, and that you don't really know what's going on. When I knew he'd come through, he was a very strong little boy, and it was lovely to see him smile, be back to normal again after. The second time he got meningitis, he was 11 months old. This time was different. I could tell that it was different. He was extremely poorly. He wasn't himself. I'd been to the doctors 3-4 times in the week, and they said it was, viral, normal things, throat infection, viral infection. I decided to ring an ambulance. His eyes had gone very glazed. He wasn't really responsive. He didn't like to be picked up. He didn't like to be touched. He wanted to sleep a lot. So I'd rung the ambulance. And by the time I'd rung the ambulance, by the time the ambulance had actually got there, which was minutes, I would say, his skin had mottled. It wasn't a rash. It was like a corned beef look on the skin, under the skin. It was very scary. It deteriorated very, very quickly. There was a team waiting when we got to the hospital. It was manic. They were all surrounding him, all doing different things. One doctor was telling me he's extremely, extremely poorly. He needed to be incubated. It was all going so fast, and he was having operation after operation, and he was fitting. It was like I took one child to hospital. In hospital, he was a complete different child. He was going to die, it was just when he was going to die. And then, sort of things started to add up, and I was going with my gut instinct. I knew something wasn't right. As a mum, you're always in your head, you're always asking yourself, is there anything I could have done more? Have I done something wrong? That's a mum's job. I asked a particular doctor, as a mum, could I have done anything differently? Have I done something wrong? And her answer was, I can't answer that for you. That's heartbreaking. When in the same conversation, she's told you that your son is going to die, that he's going to pass away. There's nothing more that they can do. And then in the same conversation, she made me feel like she doesn't know if it was my fault. I was asking questions upon questions, and I was very pushy, and I wasn't getting it. I was just getting fobbed off. Nobody wanted to listen. It was sort of, well, we know what we're doing. It's our job. They basically told me that if you're not happy with the answers we're giving you, then you'd have to seek them elsewhere. The only way I was going to get any answers is if I went to solicitors. So I went to Hudgell's solicitors, and thanks to them, I got the answers that I needed. I knew he'd had spina bifida, was told it was nothing to worry about. What I wasn't told is that he had an open tract on his spine, at the bottom of his spine, and there was a dermoid cyst further up that should have been investigated straight away and removed. That holds infection. It was only a matter of time before he got meningitis the second time. It wasn't if, it was when. I wouldn't be here now, and I wouldn't know what I knew if it wasn't for Hodgels, especially Renu. She was amazing, and she pushed and she pushed, and she got the answers I need, and she wouldn't take no for an answer. And they've worked so hard. They really have. It's been such a long time, and they've worked day and night to get the answers for me and my family what we needed. Without them, it wouldn't have happened. She's been amazing. She's been my counsellor, my friend, anything I needed, ever.
No, really? Yeah.
I first met Gaynor 3 years ago when I first started working on her case. She was a wonderful lady. She knew, her gut feeling was that things had not gone as they should have, and by that I mean the treatment that her son Cayden received was incorrect, it was insufficient. He wasn't treated as a child who developed meningitis should have been. She knew there had been failings, and she remained determined from start to finish, and she went through quite a battle to find the answers. She was a very patient lady, but she was as I said, she was very determined. She stuck with it throughout the entire process, and it was really something to be able to say at the end of it, here are the answers that you wanted.
That's a really nice one. We should take that one for the website.
We come up here to visit this. I opened a Facebook page, Cayden Story, and I've also started a website, caydenstory.org.uk. People are coming to me with their stories, telling other people about their stories, the feelings, what their family's been through. It's about feeling like there's a community there that you can speak to that have been through the same, talking to someone who's been through the same, who understands what you've been through. It's really important. It really is, to know that someone's always there. It's not just about meningitis, it's about brain injury, spinal injury, if you need a legal point of view, you don't know where to turn to, there's answers. I received a message on the Facebook page on the wall, and she'd been on and she'd seen the symptoms, and straight away, don't wait for a rash and things like that. And she took a little girl straight to hospital, and it was found very early that she was diagnosed with meningitis, and she's doing really well, and she was recovering and she's doing okay. And I was over the moon. It was very emotional. I mean, it's amazing, it really is, and I'm so happy, and I really am proud of how they've both taken off. I couldn't have asked for anything better, anything. There's not enough awareness out there. People assume automatically it's a rash that comes up first. It's not. You don't wait for a rash. There are all different symptoms, and you don't have to have all these symptoms. 1 or 2 is enough. And you got instinct. You take your child, and that could save your child's life. It really could.